Hello viewers, today I am going to talk to you on dietary minerals. Minerals are an important part of healthy diet. Inorganic simply means that minerals are found naturally in non-living things such as water, rocks or soils. Another name of minerals that are necessary for human health is dietary element. Dietary elements, commonly known as dietary minerals or mineral nutrients, are the chemical elements required as essential nutrients by organisms other than carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen and sulfur present in organic molecules. Minerals are actually inorganic substances. They are naturally occurring chemicals we need to live, excluding nitrogen, hydrogen and carbon. There is no such thing as essential minerals because all dietary minerals are essential. We have major minerals, also known as micromolecules, and trace minerals or minor minerals. This episode deals with major minerals, minor minerals, toxic metal contaminants and metal uptake in canned foods, followed by conclusions. Now we will look into the major minerals. The important major minerals are calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, sulfur, phosphorus and chloride, whereas minor minerals are zinc, iron, copper, iodine, selenium, manganese, chromium, fluoride and molybdenum. Now we will go into the details of major minerals. First we will look into the calcium. Calcium is one of the most important and plentiful mineral found in human body. The teeth and bone contains about 99% of calcium, while nerve cells, body tissue, blood and other body fluids contain the rest. Calcium helps our body with building strong teeth and bones, clotting blood, sending and receiving nerve signals, relaxing muscles, releasing hormones and keeping normal heartbeat. Dairy products are the best source of calcium. Milk and its products such as yogurt, cheeses and buttermilk contains a form of calcium which body can easily absorb. Milk also has a good source of phosphorus and magnesium, which helps the body to use and absorb calcium. Other source of calcium includes green leafy vegetables such as broccoli, collard, mustard greens, turnip, Chinese cabbage. Magnesium. Magnesium rich foods are essential for cellular health and over 300 biochemical functions in the body. It helps in protein synthesis, nerve function, blood sugar control, neurotransmitter release, blood pressure regulation and energy metabolism. Green leafy vegetables are the richest source of magnesium and chlorophyll. Apart from that, pumpkin seeds, yogurt, almond, black beans, avocado, figs and banana are also good source. Potassium. Eating more of potassium rich foods can reduce risk of high blood pressure, strokes and heart disease. Sweet potatoes, tomato paste and sauces, beet greens, beans, yogurt, carrot juice, soya bean, bananas and milk are the richest source of potassium. Sodium. Sodium occurs naturally in many foods and the most common form of sodium is sodium chloride. The body uses sodium to control blood pressure and also aids in muscle and nerve function. Sulfur. It is very vital to health. It is found in all body tissues and plays several important roles. It helps resist bacteria and protect against toxic substances. It also helps in the development of connective tissue and helps skin maintain structural integrity. Cruciferous vegetables such as cabbage, broccoli, turnip are the rich source of sulfur containing substances known as glycosinolates. Allium vegetables such as garlic, onion, leeks contain organosulfur compounds that contain sulfur. Phosphorus. Phosphorus is an essential nutrient required for proper cell functioning, regulation of calcium, strong bones and teeth, and for making ATP, which is also known as adenosine triphosphate, a molecule which provides energy to our cells. A deficiency in phosphorus can lead to lower appetite, anemia, muscle pain, improper bone formation, which is also known as rickets, numbness, and weakened immune system. Phosphorus is found in almost every food, and as such, deficiency is rare. Conversely, consuming too much phosphorus causes the body to send calcium from the bones to the blood in an attempt to restore balance. This transfer of calcium weakens bones and can cause calcification of internal organs, increasing risk of heart attack and other vascular diseases. Some scientific research suggests that phosphorus is more easily absorbed from meat products, and we can only absorb half of the phosphorus contained in plant foods. The amount of phosphorus absorbed differs from person to person. Nutrients from plant source to be optimal for health. Sunflower seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, watermelon seeds, and flax seeds are the highest in phosphorus. Other source includes non-fat yogurt, cheese, potato, almond, soya foods, grapes, kiwi fruits, banana, and blackberry. Chloride. Chlorine is an important electrolyte and works with other electrolytes such as potassium, sodium, and carbon dioxide. Chloride is found when the elemental chloride gains an electron or when a compound such as hydrogen chloride is dissolved in water or other polar solvents. Chloride salts such as sodium chloride are often very soluble in water. The electrolyte chloride helps to ensure heart function, muscle contraction, and helps nerves to transmit important messages throughout our body. Now, we will look into the minor minerals. Minor minerals are the trace elements needed in amounts of less than few milligrams per day and includes zinc, iron, copper, iodine, selenium, manganese, chromium, fluoride, and molybdenum. Now, we will look into the details of each minor mineral. Zinc. Zinc promotes strong immune system. It also helps in maintaining our sense of smell and vision and for normal growth and development. Meat and beans are good source. We can also get it from whole grains, spinach, and cocoa. Fruits and vegetables are not good source because zinc in plant proteins is not available as for use by body as zinc from animal proteins. Therefore, low protein diet and vegetarian diets tend to be low in zinc. Iron. Iron is an essential mineral in our body. It is required to carry oxygen from lungs to every cell in our body. In addition to its vital role in oxygen movement and storage, iron is also needed to regulate the growth. 2/3 of our body's iron is hemoglobin, the oxygen carrying protein in red blood cells. Iron is also found in myoglobin, a protein that helps store oxygen in our muscles. Iron is a component of healthy blood, helps in transporting oxygen throughout our body and helps carry carbon dioxide out. Iron deficiency in body leads to condition called anemia. High iron foods include liver, sunflower seeds, nuts, lamb, beans, whole grains, dark leafy vegetables such as spinach, dark chocolates and tofu. Iron from meat, that is heme iron, is more easily absorbed than iron from plant, that is non-heme iron. Iron is absorbed in our intestine. Absorption is greatly improved by taking vitamin C. Dark leafy greens contain both iron and vitamin C. Copper. Copper is an essential mineral required by the body for bones and connective tissue production and for coding specific enzymes that range in function from eliminating free radicals to producing melanin. A deficiency in copper can lead to osteoporosis, joint pain, lowered immunity, and since copper is essential for absorption of iron, anemia will never set in. Conversely, overconsumption of copper will lead to cramps, diarrhea, and vomiting in short term and can lead to depression, schizophrenia, hypertension, and insomnia in long term. Copper in large amounts can even be poisonous. The stomach needs to be acidic in order to absorb copper, and thus antacids interfere with the absorption of copper, as do milk and egg proteins. Dried prunes, avocados, beans, nuts, mushrooms, and seafoods are the rich source of copper. Iodine. Iodine is a mineral found in some foods. The body needs iodine to make thyroid hormone. These hormones control the body's metabolism and many other important functions. The body also needs thyroid hormone for proper bone and brain development during pregnancy and infancy. Getting enough iodine is important for everyone, especially infants and women who are pregnant. Too much or too little iodine can lead to the condition known as hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. Iodine is found naturally in some foods and also added to salt that is labeled as iodized. Fish, seaweed, shrimps are generally rich in iodine. Dietary products such as milk, yogurt, cheese are also a good source of iodine. Selenium. Selenium is required by the body for proper functioning of thyroid gland and may help protect against free radical damage and cancer. A deficiency in selenium can lead to pain in muscles and joints, unhealthy hair, and white spots on the fingernails. In long terms cases, it may even lead to Hashimoto's disease, a condition in which the body's own immune system attacks the thyroid. An excess of selenium can lead to bad breath, diarrhea, and even hair loss. It is important to note that the amount of selenium in any product varies greatly by the amount of selenium in the soil in which it was produced or grown. Brazil nuts, fish, chicken and turkey, lamb, whole wheat bread, mushrooms and whole grains are the rich source of selenium. Manganese. Manganese is required by the body for proper enzyme functioning, nutrient absorption, wound healing and bone development. Manganese deficiency is rare and can be seen expressed in poor bone health, joint pain and fertility problems. Manganese toxicity from food source is also rare, but can adversely affect the neurological system. Health benefits of manganese includes strengthening weak bones, antioxidant protection, alleviating premenstrual syndrome, anemia, arthritis, alopecia and prevention of epileptic seizures. Tuna fish, mussels, nuts, seeds such as pumpkin, chia, sesame, flax, bread, tofu, beans are the rich source of magnesium. Chromium. A key role of chromium in the body is related to the control of blood sugar. There is a simple molecule called low molecular weight chromium binding substance involved in blood sugar control. There is a clear evidence of chromium deficiency leading to abnormally high blood sugar as well as evidence of restoring chromium supply back towards normal or higher can enhance blood sugar control even in diabetic persons. Broccoli, barley, oats, green beans, tomatoes, lettuce are the excellent source of chromium. Fluoride. Fluoride is a normal constituent of human body involved in mineralization of both teeth and bones. The fluoride concentration in bones and teeth is about 10,000 times than in body fluid and soft tissues. Nearly 99% of body's fluoride is bound strongly to calcified tissues. Fluoride in bone appears to exist in both rapidly and slowly exchangeable pool. Because of its role in dental caries, fluoride has been classified as essential to human health. Fluoride intake from most food is low. Foods generally have concentration well below 0.05 milligrams per 100 grams. However, water in fluoridated areas as well as beverages, tea, submarine fish and infants' formulas, especially those that are made of reconstituted with fluoridated water, generally have high concentration. Molybdenum. Molybdenum is essential in trace amounts for humans, animals and plant health. In humans and animals, molybdenum serves mainly as an essential cofactor of enzyme and aids in metabolism of fat, carbohydrate and some amino acids. Molybdenum combines with the sulfide oxidase to catalyze sulfur containing amino acids that are crucial for human health. Although cases of molybdenum deficiency are rare, signs of deficiency includes defects in uric acid production as well as decreased metabolism of sulfur containing amino acids. The amount of molybdenum found in food depends upon the soil in which the food is grown. Legumes such as beans, lentils and peas as well as cereals and leafy vegetables are considered good source of molybdenum. Liver is a good source, but animal source is poor. Now, I will look into the toxic metal contaminants. Food contains a wide range of metallic elements such as sodium, potassium, iron, calcium, boron, magnesium, selenium, copper and zinc. These elements are essential in trace quantities for maintenance of cellular processes. Other metabolic elements have no functional effects in the body and can be harmful to health if foodstuffs containing them are consumed regularly in the diet. The majority of metals are natural components of Earth's crust. Mercury, lead, cadmium, tin and arsenic are in that category. Mercury and lead are often referred to as heavy metals. The toxicity of these metals is in parts due to the fact that they accumulate in biological tissues, a process known as bioaccumulation. This process of bioaccumulation of metals occurs in all living organisms as a result of exposure to metals in food and the environment, including food animals such as fish and cattle as well as humans. Metals and other elements can be naturally present in food or can enter food as a result of human activities such as industrial and agricultural processes. Chemically, metallic elements can exist as the pure metal, for example, tin or lead, or compounds formed by combination of metallic elements with a non-metallic elements such as combination of sodium with chlorine, giving a salt such as sodium chloride, which is also known as common salt, or oxygen giving an oxide. The metals of particular concern in relation to harmful effects on health are mercury, lead, cadmium, tin and arsenic. Large number of metals have been associated with health effects in individuals exposed to them in workplace, for example, beryllium and nickel. The harmful effects of latter group of metals are associated with inhalation of metal dust causing lung injury, and these elements are not normally found in foods at levels that could cause toxicity. The main concern in relation to the toxicity of mercury in the general population is the potential effect of organic forms of mercury, which is also known as methyl mercury, on the brain and the intellectual development in young children. Lead also has an effect on brain and intellectual development in young children, while long-term exposure in both children and adult can cause damage to the kidney, reproductive and immune systems, in addition to effect on nervous systems. Cadmium is toxic to kidney, while exposure to high levels of tin from, for example, canned foods in incorrectly manufactured tins can cause gastrointestinal irritation and upset. Exposure to inorganic arsenic is of concern because of its cancer-causing properties. Given the wide spectrum of effects on health and the fact that these toxic metals accumulate in the body, it is essential to control levels in foodstuff in order to protect human health. Lead, arsenic and cadmium are each present in the environment, including water, air, soil and foods, either as naturally occurring substances or as a result of contamination from human activity. Each has been associated with a negative health effect when consumed at high levels, such as cancer or developmental effects. Arsenic may be present as an inorganic arsenic, generally considered the more toxic form of arsenic, or organic arsenic. The toxic effect of lead, like those of mercury, has been principally established in studies on people exposed to lead in course of their work. Short-term exposure to high levels of lead can cause brain damage, paralysis, anemia, and gastrointestinal symptoms. Long-term exposure can cause damage to the kidney, reproductive and immune system, in addition to effect on nervous system. The most critical effect of low level exposure is on the intellectual development in young children, and like mercury, lead crosses placental barrier and accumulates in the fetus. Infants and young children are more vulnerable than adults to the toxic effects of lead, and they also absorb lead more readily. Even short-term low-level exposures of young children to lead is considered to have effect on neurobehavioral development. Consumption of food containing lead is a major source of exposure for the general population. The principal toxic effect of cadmium, its toxicity to the kidney, although it has also been associated with lung damage, including induction of lung tumor and skeletal changes in occupationally exposed populations. Cadmium is relatively poorly absorbed into the body, but once absorbed is slowly excreted like other metals and accumulates in the kidney, causing renal damage. The kidney of food animals is a major source of cadmium in the diet, although lower levels are found in many foods. The most toxic form of mercury, methyl mercury, is found at significant levels only in fish and seafoods. Individuals consuming a diet containing a high content of predatory fish and or shellfish. The major potential dietary source of exposure to methyl mercury are fish and shellfish, in particular top predatory fish such as swordfish, as a consequence of industrial release of inorganic mercury into the marine environment, followed by uptake into marine microorganisms, which then converts the less toxic inorganic toxic methyl mercury. This then accumulates through the food chain due to the low rate of breakdown, reaching potentially toxic levels in species at the top of the food chain, such as swordfish and marlin, which may then form a part of human diet. Now we will look into the metal uptake in canned foods. Tin is relatively less toxic than mercury, cadmium and lead. The principal concern in relation to tin in food is the possibility of high levels of potentially present in canned foods in incorrectly manufactured tins, where tin present in can has leached into the food. Canned foods may take up metals from container, tin and iron from tin plates, and lead from solder. Rapid detinning is one of the most serious problems of can corrosion. Tin forms the anode of the tin iron couple with the majority of acid foods in the absence of oxygen. Under these conditions, tin leaches into the solution at an extremely slow rate. This has been shown to occur in case of acidic foodstuffs such as canned tomatoes, and consumption of affected foodstuff has resulted in gastrointestinal irritation and upsets due to the acute toxic effects of tin. These short-term effects may occur in some individuals at concentrations above 200 milligrams per kg. Only limited data are available on the toxicological effect of inorganic tin present in canned foods resulting from the dissolution of tin coating. Another corrosion problem is sulfide staining. This is due to the presence of sulfur containing amino acids such as cysteine, cysteine and methionine in foods. When the food is heated, results in the formation of sulfide ions which can then react with the tin and iron to form SNS and FNS. Corrosion of tin can depend on the nature of canned foods as well as the type of plates used. In some cases, dissolution of tin into food may have a beneficial effect on food color, with iron having opposite effect. The uptake of tin and iron from canned foods is a common occurrence. Now we will go into the conclusions. Minerals are an important part of healthy diet. Another name of mineral that are necessary for human health is dietary element. Dietary elements, commonly known as dietary minerals or mineral nutrients, are the chemical elements required as essential nutrients by organisms other than carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen and sulfur present in organic molecules. Minerals are actually inorganic substances. They are naturally occurring chemicals we need to live, excluding nitrogen, hydrogen and carbon. A majority of major and minor dietary nutrients are essential for the proper function of various body organs. Heavy metal accumulation in soils and plants is of increasing concern because of the potential human health risks. This food chain contamination is one of the important pathways for the entry of these toxic polluants into the body of the human. Vegetables cultivated in wastewater irrigated soils take up heavy metals in large enough quantities to cause potential health risks to the consumers. In order to assess the health risk, it is necessary to identify the potential of a source, estimate the amount of risk agents that come into contact with human environment. This will help in formulating appropriate measures to control the risk factors. Thank you.